So you want to do a million things, but everyone keeps telling you need to pick a niche. You have dreams of launching a course, a podcast, a clothing brand, a book, but everyone says you have to choose. You can't do everything. Well, hi, I'm Amy and I'm here to tell you the exact opposite. You can do everything. But to do that, you have to make people fall in love with you. Your audience has to love following the journey to come along for the ride, whatever the ride is. It is totally possible, and today I'm breaking down the story of one of the most iconic multi-passionate of our generation, which is Halsey. She is not just a pop star. She's an artist, a poet, a painter, a filmmaker, a founder, and an activist. And also a pop star. So that's like 7 roles. And somehow, she makes it all feel very cohesive. So today we are diving into how she does it all so that you and me both have some kind of blueprint to follow to build a life that is creative, rich, and full of passion. Before she was a Grammy-nominated artist or a founder, Halsey was a creative explorer. Halsey doesn't fit into a box, and she's not even trying to. She's an artist, a businesswoman, a poet, a painter, an activist. She's mixed, queer, bipolar, feminist, artistic, and yet it never feels scattered. Why? Because everything she creates is an extension of who she is as a person. Her entire brand is rooted in identity exploration. She's not performing a character. She's expressing her inner world. And this is exactly why it's working. It's not about being consistent on the outside. It's about being true to the evolution that's happening inside. She doesn't create anything to please others. She creates to discover. Every project of hers is a new mirror, a new experiment, a new way of processing who she is in that very moment. And just to name a few projects, she has a multi-platinum music career, visual art sold for social causes, a beauty brand that rebels against industry standards, poetry that reads like journal pages, a cinematic album, and her own feature film, activism for feminism, queer rights, and mental health, and all of it, again, feels coherent because everything comes from her. She doesn't just sell products, she shares pieces of her identity quest. She made her life process visible. When I am filming this, because maybe you'll watch this 10 years in the future, Halsey has released so far 5 albums. Each one is a totally different universe. First we got Badlands in 2015, which is very dystopian, indie, electro vibe, full alter ego world building. Then she released Hopeless Fountain Kingdom in 2017, which is a Romeo and Juliet inspired pop R&B fantasy. In 2020, she released Manic, which was genre-bending, emotional, and deeply personal. In 2021, she released If I Can Have Love, I Want Power, which was gothic rock meets feminine rage and a full visual movie that was in theaters. And finally, in 2024, she released The Great Impersonator, which is a very raw, unfiltered, post-cancer diagnosis, genreless expression. Each era has a new sound, a new aesthetic, a new narrative. And yet, we always know it's Halsey. Why? Because the essence stays intact. It's honesty, emotion, transformation, and power. Each new project is a transformation, but it's also a thread in the same story. Halsey doesn't chase trends, she builds eras. She doesn't ask for permission, she creates permission slips for the rest of us. I want to talk quickly about Face, which is her makeup brand that she launched in 2021. It's a very wild, artsy, genderless, and rebellious makeup brand. This isn't the typical pop star beauty brand. It's bold colors, experimental textures, it's packaging that feels like a painter's studio. It's a messaging about creative expression and not perfection. She really did not slap her name on a product. She created a brand world that extends her art into real life. About Face isn't an add-on for her. It's an extension, again, of who she is as a person. And this is exactly what happens when your personal brand is strong enough to span mediums. In fact, her personal brand is so strong that in 2020, she released I Would Leave Me If I Could, which was a raw, gut punch poetry collection. In 2021, she wrote and produced a full visual film alongside her album while being pregnant. Also, she paints, even while singing on stage sometimes, and she auctions her artwork for social causes. It's new formats, new ways of expressing herself, but always the same essence. She uses new formats to express the same core message, but in new ways. And this is exactly why it always feels cohesive. Okay, but all of this isn't just for the sake of admiration, even though I do really love Halsey, but it's about inspiration. So here's what I'm stealing from her to redesign my dream life like an artist. First of all, her ability to shapeshift and do that without apologizing. Every Halsey era feels like a rebirth. Dystopian synth pop, feminine rage, fluid vulnerability, gothic motherhood, cancer survival. And through all of this, she never explains, never justifies. She lets herself evolve. So what am I doing with that? I choose to let go of the fear of being inconsistent. My life has chapters. I am allowed to evolve, to grow, and to change. Second of all, her control over her story. Halsey writes her own music, produces her own films, paints her own visual. She doesn't outsource her voice. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna reclaim creative direction for my home, for my content, for my habits, for my goals. I'm putting me in everything that I do. My aesthetic, my voice, my taste. I'm not just reacting to the algorithm or trying to be productive. I am crafting an experience for me first. And also I am convinced that it will resonate with you along the way because we are all human after all. And we're all trying to do our best and go through life as smoothly as possible. And last but not least, I'm gonna steal her commitment to create visuals that feel like her. And it's not about the trends. Halsey's makeup brand About Face, it's not beige, it's not safe. It's weird, it's queer, it's bold, it's rebellious. It's her in liquid form. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create a space, both physically and also digitally, that feels like my inner world on display. Think Pinterest walls and late night writing sessions and pop star energy in my own apartment. Every corner of my life should be a space of creative expression for me. I am done building a life that just performs well. I am done doing all the things listed on my to-do list just because they're there and I'm following the plan. I'm just following my calendar as if I was just programmed to do so, like a fucking robot. I don't want that anymore. I want to build a life that feels right, that feels good. And Halsey reminds me that you do not need to be aesthetic for others. You need to be honest with yourself. And that's what makes it magnetic. That's what makes people follow you for you. So instead of planning content based on trends, I'm gonna create based on passion and emotion. Instead of designing my apartment for Pinterest, I'm gonna design it for me to feel happy in it. Because building a dream life, it's not just about routines and system. Yes, it is the type A girlie saying this. Building a dream life is about feeling good and crafting your own story, the one where you are the main character. Halsey, she didn't succeed despite being multi-passionate. She succeeded because she embraced it fully. She could have played small. She could have niched down, picked only one thing. But instead, she built her own universe and people followed. So if you're out there thinking that you want to do all the things but you can't, well, you can. I'm gonna say it again. You can do all the things. But your audience has to understand one thing first. Who you are. Not just what you do, not just the product. You. Because that is what builds a fandom. That's what gives you creative freedom. And that's what allows you to evolve publicly without ever losing your audience or yourself. You do not have to fit in someone else's template. You can build a world that's so you that people feel like they're stepping into your vibe by just watching you live. So if you're scared to show your full range, if you're waiting for permission to be all of you, unapologetically yourself, well, this is it. Build from the inside out. And watch everything you desire become possible. I hope you enjoyed watching me fangirl over Queen Halsey for like 15 minutes. And please comment down below what's one thing you're stealing from her for your own glow up. In the meantime, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.